do you think about the food on your plate? When I first eliminated meat, one of my biggest challenges was figuring out what I could eat. This was especially true after I went plant-based, eliminating most processed food. Once I removed the meat and any processed food, I felt like I wasn't left with much. Can you relate? It was a huge challenge for me. If this is a challenge for you, you'll want to watch this video because I'll share with you how you can look at your plate. Hey there, I'm Terry with Globally Delicious, and I share tips on how to create a plant-based lifestyle that goes beyond just recipes. If that's something that you're into or want to be into more, hit the subscribe button below and look for a new video every week. And if you have something you're struggling with on your journey to be 100% plant-based, comment below and I'll personally help you out. I don't know about you, but I didn't grow up learning how to eat nutritiously. Our house was a very meat and potatoes sort of household. My mom did not enjoy cooking. Therefore, she didn't have a huge variety of recipes in her repertoire. We ate the same basic 5 dishes every week. All of them had a lot of meat, a lot of potatoes, and not much nutrition. Did you grow up that way too? Learning how to eat differently after you've eaten a certain way all of your life is challenging. It takes a willingness to try new things, learn, and look at things from a different perspective. This is where looking at your plate differently may help. Before I went plant-based, I was very well versed in the standard American diet, or SAD. At least half of my plate contained some sort of meat. Then there was some sort of grain, usually potato, and if there was any vegetable, it was just a very small serving. The majority of my plate was full of processed food. The only salad I ate was iceberg lettuce, maybe some olives and carrots, or maybe some green onions, and it was drowning in Catalina dressing. Oh my, the amount of sugar that I was consuming makes me shudder. Since I've eliminated high fructose corn syrup, I feel so much better, and I know you will too. Here's an example of what the plate looks like for most people who eat the standard American diet. More than 60% of the plate contains processed and refined foods. About 25% of the plate is meat or fish, and only 12% is anything from plants. Add sugary sodas and other beverages and snacks and munchies during the day, and it is no wonder that 1/3 of Americans are obese. Eating this sort of diet has multiple negative health consequences. According to the CDC, over 80% of heart disease and strokes could be prevented by diet changes. After choosing to go plant-based, I was at a loss as to what to eat. I educated myself about reading labels. So many products that I used to use contained ingredients that were weird. I had no idea what they were. It's a little funny because people frequently think going plant-based is weird or extreme. But what about eating so many ingredients that you can't pronounce? What are they? Isn't that kind of extreme? I learned a lot on my journey to replace the meat and processed food on my plate. I really didn't know what to put on my plate, and I knew I had to learn to think about what I was putting on my plate differently. When I eliminated all the animal products and highly processed food, I started to become aware of what else I could eat and what was available to me. Luckily for me, I found so many new foods, and many of them became my favorites. I forced myself to try the unknown, try those things that look different in the store, and try new flavor combinations. Let me show you what a plant-based plate looks like. This picture illustrates how you can look at your plate when eating a nutrient-dense plant-based diet. I like to think of half of my plate as vegetables and fruit. Half of my plate is about the same as if I take a cup with both of my hands together. For me, this represents my produce side of the plate. Then I think of 1/4 of my plate as nutrient-dense grains, and the other 1/4 of my plate is some sort of protein. Each of those quarters on my plate can be represented by what can fit in one handful cut. Then I add herbs and spices for flavors, water to hydrate, healthy fats for taste, and some fermented food for a healthy gut. Plant-based food doesn't have to be boring, dull, or expensive. You can make some delicious choices with readily available ingredients. And with just a little creativity, you can use leftovers so you're not wasting food. So how do you put this into practice for each meal? I like to think of 5 different categories. First, pick a theme. This could be a type of cuisine like Mediterranean, or a type of dish like, say, stuffed peppers. Then pick 2 to 4 vegetables or fruit. Next, decide on a grain, then protein, and finally add a topper. Toppers are my favorite because it's like my own little hand-stamped creative voila on top of a dish. Toppers add visual variety, texture, crunch, or taste to your dish. Now in this example, let's look at Mediterranean food. And I'm going to show you how I made this Greek bowl. This is an example of how to use up leftovers too. In this example, my theme is vegetarian. My veggies are onions, artichoke hearts, lettuce, and cucumber. My grain is the brown rice, and bonus points because I used up leftovers. My protein is the garbanzo beans, and my topper is some avocado and pomegranate seeds. As you can see, if you use this process to think about how to create your plate, it makes things a little bit easier, and it allows you to creatively use up those leftovers. Now let's talk about stuffed peppers. Stuffed peppers, zucchini, eggplant, anything really that you can open up and take out the middle, you can stuff. It's a great way to combine all of your nutrients in one dish. Now in this example, the stuffed peppers is my theme. The veggies are the red bell peppers, onions, celery, peas, and green onions. My grain is brown rice. My protein is navy beans, because I added some of those in there. And my topper is pine nuts and currants. Try to follow this guideline for each meal. Combine this with eating what is in season, and your diet will be bountiful, beautiful, and nutrient dense. I hope these examples inspire you to try some new things and look at your plate differently. It can be scary to step outside of your comfort zone, but you've got this. Give something a new try this week. One challenge that can arise with what to put on your plate is protein. If you want some ideas on where to get your plant-based protein, grab your free ebook with over 40 plant-based protein ideas. The link is in the show notes. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, like and subscribe for more tips every Tuesday on how to be successful on your plant-based journey.